All right, we're back today with Cherie Summa. Cherie is the owner of St. Louis Radon Test and Mitigations. Cherie, do you want to tell us a little about yourself and your company?
Sure. St. Louis Radon performs radon testing and radon mitigation in St. Louis, St. Charles, and Jefferson County. We also perform mitigation in the Metro East in Illinois. We've been in business for almost 12 years, and we're fully licensed and insured. We do commercial work also, so schools, churches, daycare centers, apartment buildings, skilled nursing facilities. It kind of runs the gamut. Any kind of indoor space can have elevated levels of radon. And although we are a small business and only have one office, we do more radon testing and mitigation than any other company in Missouri.
Oh, wow. How long have you been in business?
12 years in July.
Oh, so you know everything about radon by this point. You're the pro of the pro. I love that.
If I don't, somebody in my office does.
Nice. So what kind of stuff, you say you do more business, what kind of stuff separates you from other people in the industry?
I would say the quality of our work, the level of our experience, and the level of our expertise. So you just kind of touched on it. We've been in business for 12 years. If you can imagine, we've installed more than 13,000 radon systems in that time. So a lot of times a customer can call us and they will say, I'm on XYZ street and we are familiar with that street. We're familiar with the construction of those houses in that neighborhood. And we know what it takes to do to mitigate that house.
Yeah, you probably have a good educated guess about it before you even get there.
Exactly. So, and we follow the standards. So we're certified in radon testing and in mitigation. We're certified by two entities. One is IEMA, which is the Illinois Emergency Management Association. And the other one is ARS, which is the American Association of Radon Scientists and Technologists. And we follow those standards to a T. So we never cut corners. We're not a company that we rarely would match a price from another company.
Right.
We really discount our services, and it's because we're never willing to do what it takes in order to reduce our prices.
Yeah, not worth it. Better be right. So what's your favorite part about what you do?
I'm the most passionate about educating the public, educating realtors about the dangers of radon and the health ramifications potentially. Yeah. It's kind of why I got into the business, is to do something that would help the community. And I do all kinds of education, not just with realtors and home inspectors, but PTO meetings, neighborhood meetings, HOA meetings, talk to insurance companies, but really just making people aware of what radon is.
Yeah, I feel like most people have no clue and they're just out there.
Yeah, and those people that don't have any clue, they're at risk of getting lung cancer. And radon induced, so for the people that may be listening that don't know what radon is, right? It's a colorless, odorless gas. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it, but it can be present at dangerous levels in your home or other buildings, and it's naturally occurring. Comes from the breakdown of uranium in rocks and soils, and buildings act like a vacuum and they pull that gas inside of a enclosed space, and it has nowhere to go, and that's why it's elevated. Radon is also outside, but just at very low levels.
Right.
And if you're unaware of it, you're not testing your house, you're at risk of developing lung cancer. But radon-induced lung cancer, the good news is it's preventable.
Right.
It's preventable with a test, and if it's elevated, a mitigation system, which is one of the least expensive repairs you can make in your house, is installing a mitigation system.
I know, just hearing the word sounds like it's some big elaborate thing, and it seems like it's not that big of a deal to get it fixed. So
no, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, a typical radon system costs between $785 and $1,000.
It's well worth it. Just keep your health. Who all do you think is Who of us needs to have our houses tested for radon?
Everybody needs to have their house
Yep.
tested for radon. And that's a great question because in every type of house has the potential to have a radon problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if your house is on a slab, it has a basement, it's new, it's old. It doesn't really matter. Even apartments need to be tested, especially if your apartment is on the ground floor or the second floor. Condominiums need to be tested. And you should test every 2 years because radon levels can change and fluctuate, especially if you make alterations to your house.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say a couple of the alterations that I'm referring to would be like you install a new furnace or a new air condition, you install a sump or drain tile, or you finished your basement, something like that. They can all change the levels of radon that you have in your house. And even if you have a mitigation system already, and in a real estate transaction, Dan, even if the house has a mitigation system and you're representing the buyer, you should also test during that time. It doesn't, the system may not be functioning properly. The fan might not be running anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you, when you mentioned the test, what's the process of a test? Is that something that's super time consuming on the buyer? Is that something that you guys just come in and do quickly? What's the process go like?
For a real estate transaction, it's a 2-day process. We do a 48-hour test.
Okay.
So we go into the home. The home has to be in what we call closed house conditions. So no windows or doors open the day before the test and the duration of the test. We place the test in the lowest livable area of the house, which is the basement, typically, if they have one. And you just leave it undisturbed. You can still be in the home for 48 hours. And then in real estate transactions, we use electronic continuous monitors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pick those up and we can get the customer back the results the same day by the close of business.
Wow, that's easy. So what kind of things, the coronavirus has affected all of us, real estate especially, and that being a part of what your business is. What has shifted for you? How have you guys had to change how you do things?
Sure. So I work from home as much as I can now. Our office administrator, she's now working from home. And our crews are also working differently. So of course, to install a radon system, you cannot avoid being in the house. The good news is for us, we were probably, about 30% of the houses that we install systems in are vacant anyway.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But what we're doing is we're having, we have 2 people on a crew, and one of them is coming to the shop in the morning to load the van, and they're actually meeting at the job site instead of riding together.
Uh-huh.
Just so we can follow the social distancing recommendations as much as we can. And then usually one of them works in the basement and the other one works either in the garage or the outside of the house. So they can stay separate pretty well.
Yeah.
And then if the homeowner has a way for us to get into the house, it's not through the front door. Sometimes they're opening a side door for us or a back basement door for us. And then of course we're doing everything as far as PPE goes, face masks, booties, wet disinfectant wipes, all that, hand sanitizer, all of that. So we're trying to stay as safe as we can. And then the radon testers, same thing with the PPE. And then they're wiping down our radon testing device with, sanitary wipes every night. Cords get wiped down. The devices get wiped down.
It's a big process. What kind of work that you're doing now do you think will carry on, like whenever we get back to whatever our normal is? Do you think that you'll continue using any of these practices, or?
Honestly, we will use some, maybe like wiping down the equipment at night or at least once a week or something like that. We will continue some of it. There's some of it that probably long-term, entirely won't stick. Like, right. I don't see wearing face mask, necessarily. Of course, there's kind of controversy whether they even work. They're hard to work in, especially in the summer when it's 100 degrees. Our guys sometimes wear those masks anyway when they're in attics and, things.
Some of those houses they go into, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. So, we'll do what makes sense. We definitely will start writing together and,
right.
Stuff like that. You know, as you can imagine, all this PPE and all the steps that we take, it has considerable cost to our jobs.
Absolutely. Yep.
But yeah, we'll continue to do what makes sense, you know, to protect everybody. I don't think this virus is going to be gone, you know, immediately. And, you know, some of these practices are good to remember, like during flu season even.
Yep, absolutely. Got to take care of your guys. So what kind of goals do you have for after this?
You know, after this, I would say our goals aren't going to really change. So, you know, our biggest goal at St. Louis Radon is that people are aware of what radon is and how to protect themselves. And one day, what I would really like to see is that people understand that radon causes lung cancer just like they understand cigarette smoking causes lung cancer. I'd really like to get to that point where it's just, you know, common knowledge.
Yep, absolutely. Where can you get more information?
You can get more information on our website at stlradon.com. You can call us at 636-200-2875. And of course, we're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I don't want to take up more of your time. I mean, I kind of want to let you get back to work. I know you're busy and you're out there manning the streets with everybody. So I appreciate all this information. I hope people all register and get their house tested.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here, Dan.
You're the best. Thanks.
Thanks.